Hey, thank you so much for watching. And if you're not watching, does this video even exist? So I'll be honest with you. I'm a little surprised that I've continued to make these videos, and I'll tell you why. Generally, when I set out to create change in my life, or develop new habits, or work on something new, I generally get momentum up front, but there always comes a time where I reach this kind of barrier or this invisible wall where negative self-talk comes in, convinces me I don't have what it takes, convinces me to revert back to my normal self, my normal life, my normal state of not believing what I have what it takes, and then I always get back to square one and I'm just back to the same old routine. And I wanted to talk about that because I think that's a very universal thing that I think you can relate to, that I think a lot of us can relate to. And it ties into me making these videos, right? So I set out to do a couple videos, got through about 6, and then a lot of you started telling me how much you've enjoyed these videos, and seriously, that means the freaking world to me, and that's why I'm continuing to do these. So thank you so much for letting me know that you enjoy these and that you're actually watching. It really means a lot. And it kind of ties into what I want to talk about on this video today, right? Is self-negative talk and preventing ourselves from being the biggest version of ourselves that we truly can be. So my theory is, and this is just my personal theory, is that when we start doing things in favor of ourselves and we start implementing new positive habits and start kind of just breaking off that shell of our comfort zone, our egos are always going to step in at some point and convince us that we need to stop, that we need to revert back to our old selves, and that we don't need to start implementing this change that exists in this new realm of opportunity that is the unknown. And I think our egos are designed to keep us in this safe space because we fear change. Even if we know that change will benefit us, and we know that we want it, and we know that we need it, it's still hard to convince ourselves on every level of our being that we really need to step out and make that change in our lives. And that's why I think it's so easy to get momentum up front when we're implementing new habits or changing things about ourselves. But there's always going to be that negative self-talk that's going to come in. But I think that we can use that negative self-talk to our advantage, actually. So I think that if you're working towards something and you're starting to feel like you're coming up on that fringe of, I'm fixing to bust out, I'm really fixing to reinvent myself, I'm really fixing to break down the expectations of who I am, but there's still something just holding me back. Like maybe you're just not ready to completely full on let loose. Maybe you're afraid of what other people will think. Maybe you're afraid that if you're not living up to people's expectations of who you should be in their mind, that they might not want to be around you anymore. Or that maybe you'll become insignificant to them. And that's probably true. If you really start totally and fully expressing who you are, and that breaks the barrier of people's expectations of you, there are going to be a lot of people that you're going to become insignificant to, and those are the relationships that you don't need anymore. And so I think it's good to keep in our minds what negative self-talk is and what the nature of it is, and how it can actually be used to our advantage as a positive sign that we're actually moving in the right direction. But I think that when we're really starting to fully express who we are, and it's going against who we used to think we were, and it's going against who other people think we are, that's when that real negative self-talk is going to come in and has the massive potential to stop you in your tracks and send you back to square one. And I don't want that to happen for you, and I definitely don't want that to happen to me. So I started thinking, how can I use negative self-talk to my advantage? Well, what I started doing is I started identifying what areas of my life do I feel like I'm starting to make momentum in. What direction in my life am I actually starting to take action on and move toward? And then I started to realize that's where the majority of my negative self-talk was directed toward. So that makes me think, well, why don't I use that negative self-talk as a reminder that I need to keep going in that direction? That negative self-talk no longer has to hold me back and keep me from creating the change in my life that I want to. That negative self-talk can now be like a light bulb. It can be a reminder that, yeah, I'm feeling this fear, I'm feeling this negativity, and that's why I got to keep going forward, because that means I'm going in the right direction. That means I'm going in a direction that's outside of my comfort zone, a direction that's burning away aspects of myself that I don't need anymore, aspects of myself that were never a part of me, that I always just told myself were validations to stay small and stay in a comfort zone that made me feel significant to other people. So, what I want for you and what I want for myself, and if we want to be the biggest version of ourselves that we can be, we have to be ready for negative self-talk. And we have to stop letting negative self-talk direct how we act and instead remind us to keep going forward. So, a little mini challenge, if you will. Focus on one area of your life that you really want to make forward direction in, or you're already making forward direction in. And then start thinking of the different negative thoughts that you tell yourself that prevent you from starting this new path or are slowing you down on this path you're already on. Start thinking and identifying what those negative self-thought patterns are. And then just start paying attention. When you start experiencing this negative self-doubt, these thoughts of you're not good enough, you don't have the capacity to do this, you're just not the type of person who can accomplish this. When you're having those thoughts, use them as a reminder to take a step back, take a deep breath, and just keep fucking going. Don't stop. Use that negative self-talk to empower yourself and keep moving forward. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the positive feedback. I love y'all so much. I'm going to keep making videos. I want to keep talking. If you have something you want to get off your chest, send me a DM. Let's chat. Talk to you soon.